Hey y'all, Owen here with Dad's Woodworks, feeling extra white today. Listen, got a customer, it's me, I'm the customer, who has a chair that we gotta fix, and I'm about to show y'all. It is my recliner I got from my grandparents, and if you got feral kids like me who think everybody or everything is a trampoline, this is what happens. So what I'm gonna attempt to do today is replace this, and I got to reverse engineer it because I can't find anything online about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and start making a print so I can get a program up in my CNC and try to cut out some of these profiles, because I refuse to do that by hand. Ignore the dog licking its butt, but one of the first things we need to do is get the measurements. From here it's 22 and 7/8, and I think it was about 10 and 3/16. Probably closer to 10 and a quarter, but pretty sure this was done metric, but I'm an American, screw that. One of the things we want to do is try to figure out, there's some stuff blocking the way, but you want to figure out, it's got this this groove right here, allows these arms to pass through, but it's also got a radius right here. I'll show you how we're going to figure that out here in a little bit. But coming from the back wall right here, it was right at 3 inches, and coming from down to the top of the radius of that groove, it was about 1.5 inches. Yeah, it's 1.5 inches. So we can transfer that. It's more likely going to be even from both sides. So we got that figured out. And once we get this taken off, we can figure out what the bolt holes are and how far down this radius goes and how far over in. There's a cool math way we can do that with some squares and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get this taken off. It is a freaking star bit. I don't have star bits, so I will try to find something. I do have a star bit. Holy crap. Oh, holy crap. That might work. I am so good at this. Alright, so found an adapter, and luckily found the exact star bit that I needed. We'll go ahead and take this off. We'll keep track of the bolts. I'm not going to take the brackets off.
I want some English.
No. I don't know what you said, but no.
She says she needs the ruler.
Excuse the feral children. That's about as I feared. It is stapled to the fabric. I'm not too worried about the fabric.
Well,
I do want to keep
that
track of the pieces.
Yeah.
So,
If we
these scissors suck. Again, I know I'm mutilating this fabric right here on the front part, but I really don't care about the fabric. I just want to get access to those holes. Alright, looks like, other than the fabric, we have this disassembled. So let me try and get it off. Okay, with our handy dandy razor blade, we got it disassembled super quickly. So now we just have to kind of reverse engineer the broken pieces to see how big we need to make this. And I have a good idea because we know the overall length of it, and which means we can kind of guesstimate. We could probably make this loop right here bigger if we wanted to. The key thing is getting this radius. I don't think it has to be like exact, but it'd be kind of cool if we were able to get that done. So we'll get this over to the shop. We still got to take this off, and we got to figure out all these bolts. It looks like something here is missing. It's supposed to attach to that. We might actually have to machine something. It's going to be fun. Okay, ignore the mess in the shop. I got a bunch of different projects going on. I just got the carpet off using a screwdriver. So after taking the carpet off, realized this bracket is held on by the same star bit screws. I'm missing a star bit screw here, and it looks like it was attached to a bracket that was attached to that middle arm piece that we saw on the in the middle of that chair. So what I want to do before I start taking all that off is I want to get this orientated, and it looks like it is missing some material, but that's the best part of being a machinist or a fabricator or a creator of some sort, is being able to adjust or recreate whatever you want. I gotta find my tape. We'll get our notes. So we got our print. It's safe to say that I was right. It is about 3 inches, and the slot is about 3 1/4 by 8 1/4. So we can transfer that on both. 3.25, 8.25. Now this radius on the bottom, it looks like it comes down, it starts at 7 1/8. So 7.125, and I'm using decimals because we're going to have to use that for the CAD software on the CNC. I'm thinking. All right, if you were wondering about the music, that is Bloodline from Whispering Trees. I do have permission to use that. It's my little sister's band. They just got nominated for the Jonesy Music Awards at the Grand Ole Opry, so go vote for them. But anyway, we're good. I got the bracket taken off. I want to sit there and measure where all the holes are going to be at, so I can go ahead and program that as well whenever I cut out this this whole profile, I guess. So we're gonna measure. We only need one side, and this is as close as it's going to get, I think, to being correct. It's the only intact side that I can get an accurate measurement from over here. So looks like the holes are 1 inch from the side, and coming down we have 3 inches and 4.5. So we'll go ahead and draw that. .5, 1 inch, and then we will check from over here. We got 10 and 5/8 and 12, 11 and 5/16. And those are 1.25 inches down, 2 1/8 down. And these should be exactly the same, so we'll just measure down 6 inches. Those are about 1.25 inches apart. Well, we'll make these the same, 1.25 inches apart. That is right at 6 inches down for them two. And for these, we're going to need a straight edge of some kind. We got nine 7/16 and 13 5 for them bottom two holes. What is this? 13 5. If y'all are wondering about the tape measure, it is a Starrett tape measure I got from my dad. And these are 9 7/16 down. Cool. And we'll just copy the dimensions for these holes because it should be the same. Now I'll go ahead and get that programmed and we'll get something up there to start cutting. So what I'm going to be using to cut this out with is this router bit from Harbor Freight. I know somebody's going to be in the comments or be cringing at the house like, oh my God, you can't use that. Yeah, you freaking can. I've been using these for years, and they actually do Lord's work on plywood. So the big issue is, see, it's split point. It's not a center cutting, but that's not going to be an issue because we're going to be ramping down to cut this profile out, or to cut anything out other than the drill holes, which I might just put in a 1/4 inch drill in the collet and do it from there. So, or do the holes like that, but I still am going to need to make the counter bores. So, get this engraving bit out. Of course, the collet's stuck. There we go. And I'm lightly tapping it, so it's not going to damage the wood or the bit. I'm saying softwood, not hardwood. I got my fence set up. I've already cut a profile. Got it square with the machine itself. Of course, this would be too big. And I have a homemade clamping system that's going to allow me to keep this clamped in. I took a piece of aluminum, I'll show you here in a second. I took that piece of aluminum angle, cut a slot in it on the mini mill, and drilled and tapped a hole. I believe this is a 3/8 hole. I hate metric. And it's going to be, probably, nope. So this allows it to give the clamping pressure needed to keep it into the stops, and it is not going to move. I use this for engraving flags out of this, just like this, and I normally run it at 100 inches a minute at like 50 thou depth of cut, but I think for this I have it doing 72 inches a minute at 30 thou depth of cut. That because I don't know how well this is going to work. Haven't done a cutout operation like this in a very long time, so I just want to be kind of conservative. So keeping this machine zeroed, this X-Carve is kind of annoying because the homes did not work. So what I'm going to do, because I just want to double check, make sure this bit is going to be able to reach all the way to the bottom. I'm just going to jog it down in Z, do an inch. I probably need to move it up one so it doesn't hit the fence. I don't think it's going to go down another inch. Move it in 100 thou increments. it will reach just barely. And I don't have it super deep into the collet, which is another reason for the shallow pass that I'm going to be doing. But I keep it in the same spot because I know that's my XY0. This is the reference point or datum or whatever you want to call it from where everything else is going to be located from. Okay, before you cut, there's a couple things you got to do. First is make sure that it is tight in the clamps. You got to confirm the material thickness and all that. But then you got to probe and tell the machine where the tool is in relation to the part. So the clip is attached, the probe's connected, it's made contact, it's registered that the probe is working. All right, so it's probed and knows where Z0 is because we're using 3-axis, X, Y, Z, Z being the tool height. Now, we got to bring it back. I moved it 1 inch in Y and 1 inch in X. So now we're back at our 0. Z probe is put away and we'll set our XY0 right here. Now, we are getting into the fun part. And whenever you start to machine anything, whether it be wood, metal, or whatever you may be, always be ready to stop it if it fails. So we're going to go ahead, make sure our safety glasses are on. Mine are because I need them to see. Spin the line. Let's get the carving. All right, with that done, looks like it did great. The reason I used the 1/4 inch end mill or router bit, whatever you want to call it, was because I knew that it was bigger than the screws, so it has some clearance to pass through there freely. That's not where the threads are. It does look like it went all the way through, and if it didn't, I can just use a flush trim, like a flush cut saw to be able to get this out, and I can easily fix any holes that didn't go all the way through. One thing I forgot to do is do the counter bore. It's no problem. Haven't taken it off, haven't changed anything. I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick, just in case somebody's curious. The bolts itself are 0.556 wide, and we'll probably make it 80 thou deep. So I'll probably do 0.5625 or 9/16 counter bore, 0.8 deep, 80 thou deep, and we'll go ahead and do that before we take it off. Actually, we still have to cut the profile, and those, I don't think those side reliefs are super important, but we will find out. Something screwed up, and I'm gonna do a 10 thou pass to make sure that it didn't screw up, but I think I might have done the program wrong. I think I have the positions in the wrong spot. We'll check though. With one 10 thou pass on the first, it's not going to mess it up. Set off of a corner. I didn't have it set off the center of the hole. That's another irritating thing of this of the software from X-Carve. And to show you what the mistake was, because I'm not afraid of showing mistakes, you got 5 different positions. If you have it set on this, if you're doing like a counter bore, right? I had the positions of the holes, but if you do this, this is actually the center of the hole. See that change? So instead of being at 1 inch on X, it's actually at 1.281 and 3.281 on X and Y. So it kind of shifted half of that diameter over, up, like to the right and up. That's why it did not counter bore exactly where we wanted it. So I got to go through and change all of these, and it shouldn't take more than like 5 minutes. All right, I've kind of came to the conclusion that if you play Freebird while you're trying to figure something out, you kind of become a CNC genius. So let's go ahead and try this. We're going to try the first one, and we're going to do the same 10 thou pass. It should be dead center of that first hole. I was able to shift every single hole at the same time, which is pretty cool. I didn't know you could do that with easel from Inventables or whatever. So we're gonna use that last position, spindles on. Back to, I believe I said 0.8, and we get to do all of them at the same time. My bad. I got a little bit distracted. I kind of want to take all of it in one pass. And I made it a little bit deeper since some of them are going to be lighter. I think it's just because the wood is bowed. So we're going to take 100 thou pass and going to make the countersinks or counterbores exactly 100 thou. So that'll run. Alright, so let's just, well, this one's right on the T-slot. It's not going to go in all the way because of something. So, that looks good. It worked how I wanted it. So now we need to cut the dimensions for it. So we'll double check that. We'll do like a 10 thou pass, 10, 20 thou pass and double check it. Measure it with the tape measure and make sure that's how we want it. There we go. I got it. I got it. That looks right. Let's double check it. So from here to the 10 and 7/8. No. I guess I did make it a little longer. It's supposed to be 10 and 3/8. Well, we'll fix that. Or 3/16. That's exactly 22 and 7/8. So we did something right. We did something right. And that's what happened. I got dyslexic. And the kids are out here playing now. Cool. So I know I said I don't think this is important, but I have a feeling if I don't go ahead and do it now, then it's going to come back and bite me in the butt. So what I got is a piece that has that semicircle here, and I put a straight edge up against it, and I'm going to measure from the wall to there, and it is 2 1/4. That means it's 2 1/4 radius or 4 1/2 diameter circle. And I'm gonna go ahead and put that on the ends, and if I'm not mistaken, it should be like 7 something, 7 1/2, 7 1/4 down is where it starts. So we'll be able to fix that. We'll be able to recreate that for sure. All right, so I figured it out. I moved this line down from 10 7/8 because I forgot to put a 1 in front of it, 10.1875 or 10 3/16. I've also added the semicircles there and here, and that's going to clear out a pocket. That's going to clear out a pocket. That's going to cut all the way through, no tabs, unlike what it left for these pockets right here. And then this side wall, because I have it pushing. God, this is going to be a little. I got it. I'm gonna make it cut all the way through, and I'm just gonna use these existing holes with some screws, and just screw it right in to the right into the wasteboard. That way, it doesn't fly off and cause issues after we cut it. Or while we're cutting it, it breaks all the way through. It doesn't throw the part or something and damage either the machine or this piece that I've put more time than I actually wanted to, but I want to sit comfortably and watch anime. All right. I have to find more screws. I'm going to use washers so it doesn't like get up in to the board. The screw doesn't get stuck into the board. I might have to move the gantry. And to those of y'all wondering, yes, these are drywall screws. And they will work for the application. I have all the confidence in the world in them. What, baby? You're cold. It's 90 degrees out, baby. Go inside if you don't want to be out here. It's about to get loud. You might want to go. And there it is. I'll go ahead and take this clamp off on the side, just because I don't want it to push the pressure as it's cutting. I don't want this piece of wood to be pushed into the cutter, cause it to bind up or cause another issue. So we'll go ahead and take this off. That way I know it's not going to hit anything. It'll be out of the way. And that's part of it, having to see ahead and make sure it's nothing's gonna crash. So I'm fairly confident in my program now. We'll do a cut all the way through. Yes, the pieces might come off and fly, but I'm not too worried about it. I don't think it'll cause an issue. So we'll go ahead and carve last position. Turn the spindle on. Fire in the hole, boys.
Alright, well, it didn't go all the way through, but it was like a freaking 10 thou or 0.01 thick layer that we got to break. And worst case scenario, take it to the bandsaw, cut it out, use a sander. So we'll go ahead and get this going. We'll take this off, and we will check with the old part to see how everything lines up.
For those of you who had zero faith in the drywall screws, they're not too long, and they actually worked. I know because I've used them before. So let's see. We don't have a lot to break through on this. See, I can break through it with my thumb. So we'll get this cleaned up and then check to see how it lines up with the old piece of furniture that we took off. Alright, so for those of you who are wondering about the fuzzies, that's because I wasn't using an down cut bit, and same would have happened on the bottom side because I wasn't using a down cut bit. I was using a 2-flute straight flute router bit or carbide from Harbor Freight, not sponsored. I just, as you can tell, it freaking worked. So we're going to use this other roundover bit. I'm pretty sure it was a 3/4 roundover bit from Harbor Freight that I have in the router table to round over and smooth out all these edges, clean it up, and clean up all this crap that's on it, and make it look nice and pretty for somebody who's never going to see it. Make sure you have your safety glasses on. Boy, get your safety glasses.
Yes, sir.
You don't want to get hit in the eye with a freaking splinter. That sucks.
Dad, don't forget about 15.
I'm not. Well, while doing that, I could tell that those drill holes didn't go all the way through, but we can easily fix that. It's not going to be a problem. One thing you could do is use a piece of sacrificial wood, which in this case I'm going to use the blank cut out of there. That way it will prevent tear out. I just drilled through my table. Yeah. Don't want to do that. There we go.
How did you drill through this?
I did. I put 3 holes in my table, but it's a work table. That stuff happens. But as you can see, having that piece of wood on the back side didn't produce hardly any tear out. So what we're going to do is put this back together. How did it? Pretty sure it went like this. We'll put this back together and put our original piece or our new piece on it. So the relief for the bracket is a little bit bigger, but it looks like the holes line up and that radius. Oh my gosh, look at that. Would you just look at it? That worked out perfect. So now we can go We can get all these fuzzies off if I wanted to. I really don't care. We can use these. That works out good. Yeah, let's go put this back on the recliner and see if I can actually sit down and enjoy watching TV.
It's on.
Oh, it's barely off. Yeah, that's barely off. That figures. Oh well.
That on here, it doesn't look like it's off.
It's fine. I think that was for the bracket anyway. Well, we got the two pieces, or the two extra screws for this. I am right, I'm missing a screw unless that one just didn't have one. Let's go put this on the recliner and see what happens.
It's on.
Alright. Yes, I'm okay, baby.
No, Bubba.
I don't have a Bobo. Oh, dude, this lines up perfect. Now I just got to get screws to attach to the bottom of the thing. Oh, dude! Please tell me they come out perfect. Oh, look at that! Look at that!
Oh, yes! Yes!
That's perfect. Now I just got to
Oh.
find the same freaking screws for down here and attach them because they all came out.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So those radiuses right there, they were important because it gives it clearance for those wood pieces of wood and those brackets down there. So I recreated it perfectly. This is going to be awesome. I took a screw out so I can find one that matches for the footrest, and then this thing will be done. All right. Moment of truth. And it locks. Oh. I know, this is awesome. That's probably the coolest thing I've ever made.